Hey, Trojan family, what's going on? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyrud, one of the top linebackers in the country. This should get people excited. I know everyone's wanting to see continued growth and development in the linebacker room. One of the top linebackers in the country just dropped his top 12 teams, still a ways to go, but dropped his drop 12 and included the USC Trojans in that top 12. Roman Igwebuike, he is the 6th ranked overall linebacker in the 2027 class. And like I said, top 12, USC makes it. So his full 12 list is USC, Miami, Tennessee, Clemson, Indiana, Missouri, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Ole Miss, and Florida. So all of the big boy brands, a lot of blue bloods in there. You're really just missing, not blue bloods, but you're missing in terms of top brands in recruiting. You're missing Oregon, you're missing Oklahoma, missing all the Texas schools, but everyone else, and Alabama you're missing, but everyone else you're pretty much involved with here. So a long way to go in this one, but great to see USC in one of the final runnings for one of the top backers in the country. For a little specs on him, 6'3", 225. So he's got the great flavor profile we all talk about. As I mentioned, 6th overall linebacker. He's the 119th ranked overall player in Rivals industry rankings. And he currently attends Mount Carmel High School in Chicago, Illinois area, which if that sounds familiar, that's because 2026 defensive line commit Braden Jones also attended Mount Carmel. So not saying, again, I've always kind of lead with, hey, it's good to have some of those connections and some of these players that have played together before. It's not the end all be all. It's not a reason why a kid will commit, but hey, it helps. Braden Jones is here on campus now, right? He's already practicing and going with the Trojans, and he'll be playing this season, or playing or redshirting, but he'll be within the building, all that. So he'll be able to tell Roman, like, hey, this is what we're building, man. Like, we played together at Mount Carmel. We had a nice playoff run at the Illinois State playoffs, and why don't you come check out what we're doing here at USC? And there's that connection that those two players already have. So always good to see. That's why pipelines get built at certain schools. When you see like modern day pipelines that USC is building, this IMG pipeline that I've talked about, they get built because the coach's relationship with the coaching staff of that high school. They get built because of the success players going to certain programs have, but they also get built because those players play together. And it's like, okay, one after another. Hey, oh yeah, my buddy went here. I'm a senior now at high school, and I want to follow him there because I can see what kind of success they're having. So certainly that does add a little element, a little level in this. But great to see kind of USC in this one. At this point, I still believe, because USC is going to take one backer. I don't think they're taking more than one linebacker in this class. To me, their top target is still Toa Sateli, the 4th ranked linebacker in the class. So real close in prospects. Size real close, 6'3". Toa Sateli a little lighter, 225. I said Roman's got that 225. Sateli, 200. But certainly can put a little bit more weight on. From the state of Hawaii, I think that's still their top target, but Cal and Oregon are really big in his recruitment right now, and he has a great relationship with Tosh Lupoy at Cal. Oregon kind of was one of the big leaders, and then once Lupoy got hired at Cal, Cal jumped up, so USC is still very much in it, and I believe, not saying 100%, I believe he is probably still their top target when it comes to linebacker, but I think Roman Igwebuike is right there, if not equal to, in terms of how they view him in size, talent, skill set, and a guy that they could, I think, climb and get from top 12 to top 10 to top 6, and then we see where they go from there. So the interesting thing, and I'll wrap up with this, keep this one short and sweet as we head into the weekend. It's going to be interesting to see if recruiting shifts at all for both USC and these linebackers. Now, this came out today, so you've got to think that, he still is in contact with who's taking over, but for both Toa Sateli and Roman, Rob Ryan's really been the lead recruiter on these. And even with Igwebuike, Eric Henderson was involved in his, kind of showing maybe they viewed a little versatility of him as stack backer with some edge versatility as well. But we know Coach Henderson obviously gone in the NFL with Washington, and we know Rob Ryan kind of taking a somewhat step back as more of an analyst role with Mike Eckler now as the true linebacker coach. Doesn't mean Rob Ryan can't be involved to a degree, conversations, phone calls, but he can't be out on like recruiting trips. That's the one thing that is stipulated in kind of the rules, and I don't remember the exact numbers, but while you can have kind of unlimited coaches and analysts now that you used to not be able to, you still have to have a finite number of guys that are actually out recruiting. So I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you have heard differently, Rob Ryan can still be involved in text messaging and calling and stuff like that, I think, but obviously cannot be visiting and, out there, on the beat actually doing it. That will now be Mike Eckler. So it'll be interesting to see with both Igwebuike and Toa Sateli if there will be a shift, if Mike Eckler maybe is looking for a different type backer, if it will ramp up with Mike Eckler now, or, if just the players will maybe cool on his kind of recruitment strategy versus what Rob Ryan brought. So it'll be an interesting kind of dynamic to see how that plays out, but good to see as of today. Now we know Mike Eckler's been on campus now for a month, that Igwebuike still views USC in his top 12. So one to watch. I know everyone always wants to know about linebackers, rightfully so. And I think this is a room, to me, I would be excited about. I've talked a bunch about in the offseason, that year 3 jump for both Stevens and Jaden Walker, and you get a guy like Devin Bryant and Talanoa Ely, I think is going to have a big impact as a freshman, but you got to keep that second. Taylor Johnson's a guy we're not talking about enough as a freshman out of Cajon. Dude is just an elite, aggressive, productive backer that I think is going to be one of those rising, surprising freshmen, and then obviously Sean Scott in modern days. So I think it's a talented room, but adding either Igwebuike or Toa Sateli in the 27 class would be massive for this team going forward. So I'll keep you posted on that. But as of now, USC Trojans, top 12, Roman Igwebuike. We'll keep you posted on more for that. Everyone enjoy your Friday evening going into the weekend. I'll have plenty more for you. I was going to do a combine video tonight. I'll do that this weekend. After all the USC players kind of wrap up all their testing, we'll just do a tie it in a bow, put it all together on a combine recap of what's going on down there. So I'll have plenty more on that tomorrow. So appreciate you, family. Hit that like and subscribe. And as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family. Thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers. They've got live stat updates. They've got a chat. You can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose Jaden Maiyava in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10. So now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free. Go make a deposit. Use USC LAFB. And now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family. And when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.